U.S. Senate candidates. We have Kevin Ryan, Jonathan Dean, Owisi Bustos, Sean Brown, Steve Botsford Jr., Brian Maxwell, and Christopher Swan. But not everybody's here. I fooled you. Kevin Ryan, Sean Brown, Jonathan Dean, and Christopher Swan. Y'all set? Okay.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. So I'll have a few questions. Your timekeeper will show you yellow when there's 30 seconds left, red when you're out of time. First question, I guess we'll start. I'll let you guys pick. Somebody raise their hand. Who goes first? There we go. Far in one by, I don't know, 2 seconds maybe? This is the 90-second question. What are your qualifications and what motivates you to serve?
Hello. Thank you for bearing with us. You're almost through it, exercising your civic duties and listening to all the candidates here tonight. My name is Kevin Ryan. I am a Marine Corps veteran, Chicago public school teacher, and a New Deal Democrat from a new generation running for the United States Senate to make our government work for all of us. Now, why am I qualified? What are my qualifications? No, I have not held public office. I have not written legislature. I have not written policy. What I have done is executed policy. I have served on the front lines of public education. I've served on the front lines of foreign policy and the front lines of war. I know what it looks like when our legislators develop their policy. Those are the perspectives we need inside the halls of Congress. My experience is the lived experience of carrying out the orders of the state. I know what it means to be on the ground. So what experience do I have? My experience, my qualifications, are serving in Chicago public schools, serving overseas in Afghanistan, Africa, Eastern Europe, the Pacific, and the Pentagon. And my next experience will be serving you as the next junior senator from Illinois. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sean Brown. I am a husband, a father, and an attorney. I am not a politician. I'm a problem solver. I got in this race late in the game because I looked at the state of our country, the elected officials that we have, and I said, why is everybody going back and forth about the problems? Where's the resolution? The experience that I bring to the Senate seat is this. Each and every day, I go into state and federal courtrooms all across the state of Illinois. I deal with individuals on their worst days. Individuals charged with criminal charges, individuals who've been wrongfully convicted, fighting for their innocence, individuals who are being burdened by the cost of health care where they have to file bankruptcy. So the experience that I bring is I'm in the system and I'm seeing the failures of the system. And I have to deal with the consequences of each and every one of my clients. And I have to fix those problems. And because no other candidate was talking about fixing problems, I decided that there needed to be somebody that's coming from amongst us. And I decided to be that person. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Attorney Sean Brown. I'm not a politician. I'm a problem solver. And I'm asking for your vote so that I can fix the problems in D.C. Thank you.
Hey, good evening, sorry about that. My name is Christopher Swan. I want to give a shout out and a thank you to the Livingston County Democratic Party for putting this event on. I want to give a shout out to you for being here at 7:30, almost to 8 o'clock, being a part of the civic duty. What are my qualifications? I spent over 10 years working, over a decade working at Feeding America in the anti-hunger policy space, really fighting to expand SNAP benefits and end hunger. And what I found throughout my time at Feeding America is that folks that are struggling, that are facing food insecurity, that are struggling with hunger, are also facing other issues like housing. that are also facing the rising cost of healthcare. And so I think it's about time that in this day and age that we demand more. As a millennial, since the Great Recession, folks in my generation, we've been struggling to make ends meet. We've been struggling to get our heads above water. And so we have politicians, we have the establishment that have been running circles around us. And so it's time that we demand more. Our ancestors, folks like my grandparents who came here during the Great Migration from Mississippi, Arkansas, and Alabama, they came here with dreams bigger than their circumstances, sacrificing to build a better future for their families. And my parents, who taught me dedication, sacrifice, and hard work, right? They've been building a better future for their families, like me and my brothers and sisters. And so it's a shame that we are facing the situation that we're facing right now. It's time for us to demand more. It's time for us to have healthcare, free healthcare access. It's time for us to have housing that won't bury us in debt. And it's time for us to have economic security and to have a voice in Washington that's going to fight against corporate greed. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi everyone, it's great to be here tonight. Thank you for staying for the final act tonight. My name is Jonathan Dean, and I am running for the United States Senate, and I'm qualified because I feel like I've worn just about every hat that somebody can wear. I'm currently a solar energy entrepreneur. I'm developing solar energy projects here in central Illinois and in northern Illinois. I'm also an attorney, and I've seen the legal system up close, and now I'm seeing, excuse my French, but the bastardization of the legal system under this current administration. I'm also an activist and attorney for survivors of sexual assault, and I've seen the pain that victims of sexual assault have faced, and I'm a father of 2 small kids, and that's ultimately the reason why I'm running for the United States Senate, because I see their future, I see down the road, and with our government right now, I don't like what I see. I'm also a proud survivor of childhood sexual abuse, and I say that to say this. I know toughness. I've confronted my perpetrators in court, I've fought them, I've lived toughness, but I also know that we need compassion. And we need both those things. So not only do we need somebody with experience, but we need somebody who's overcome adversity, because that builds character. The Democratic Party right now, we're kind of down and out. It doesn't feel good, does it? I've been there, and I know how to get out. Thank you. It's good to be here.
Thank you. So for your second question, this is your guys' version of the lightning round, and I think we would start with Mr. Brown. This is a 30-second. We're looking for the first thing that comes to mind on this one. And I'm going to rephrase your question a little to make it accurate. When the Democrats retake the Senate,
Yes.
what should be the new majority's top priority? One answer.
Top priority, healthcare, free healthcare.
Thank you.
End the filibuster, and then free healthcare.
Thank you.
Ending trickle-down economics and prioritizing everyday people instead of the corporate and political elite.
Thank you.
Amend the Constitution to once and for all overturn Citizens United, Buckley versus get money out of politics. Then we will get Medicare for all, universal child care, fully funded public education. We will not get those things so long as money controls our politics.
Thank you. Okay, so the third question is a 60-second question. And I believe Mr. Swan starts with this one. What benefits do you see to AI, and what policies will you support to mitigate the negative impacts of it?
Yeah, so some of the benefits of AI is definitely, we've seen some benefits in the healthcare system, helping folks make certain diagnoses a little more quickly and trying to be more equitable there. But I think what we need to do with AI is we need to regulate the algorithms. We need to know how these companies are building these algorithms, what's in those algorithms, what privacy regulations are going to be in place for these AI companies. The other thing with AI is also the data centers and the environmental impact that those data centers are having on communities all across the country. And so AI consumes a lot of energy, and it is making communities' electric bills skyrocket, but then also it is warming the water, and there's an environmental impact it's having, especially on low-income communities where they like to try to dump a lot of these data centers. So I think those are the priorities we need to address in AI.
Thank you. So what benefits do you see to AI, and what policies will you support to mitigate the negative impact of it?
So there is this big debate right now. Does AI need to be regulated, or should we give these corporations carte blanche and just kind of do whatever they want? And I do think AI needs to be regulated. There needs to be a closer relationship between the industry and policymakers. Right now, I'm convinced that most people in Congress probably don't even know how AI works. And most people who are developing AI probably don't want to tell people in Congress about how AI works. So there needs to be a much closer relationship between the government and AI developers. I'm very concerned for a lot of the reasons that Christopher mentioned, but I do think that there's promise there. I think AI is going to automate a lot of menial tasks. The counter side of that is that folks, there's going to be less employment. That's why whoever holds this seat needs to push for a guaranteed minimum monthly income. The last thing that we need is our children growing up to a world where there is significant automation and even more economic inequality than there is now.
Thank you.
So on the campaign trail, I meet a lot of people. And we've been to all 102 counties, we meet all sorts of people. And one of my supporters, I won't say where or who, he knows how to use computers very well. And he came up to me and he showed me a video of what appeared to be Congressman Ralph Krishnamurthy saying that we need fighters in D.C. And that's why he is dropping out and endorsing Kevin Ryan for the United States Senate. Obviously this was AI generated, audio and visual. But it's very convincing. So as a standard, which everyone says it's easy to say we need to regulate AI, as a standard, we need federal regulation to mandate watermarks on all AI-generated visual effects as well as audio effects to make sure it's clearly labeled. We do this in a bunch of different ways in different parts of the economy. We need to regulate that one. Also, a little bit participatory here as a teacher. All right, so robot versus human, who wins in a game of chess? Just shout it out. Robot. Robot, okay. Robot and human versus robot. Who wins in a game of chess? Robot and human. Cyborgs. Cyborgs, the connection between AI and humans, that is the benefit. And it is very real. We can use medical doctors with AI to unleash new medical capabilities, and that is how we should be using AI. We shouldn't be using it to make deep fakes of our opponents saying that they're endorsing us, right? That is why we need to regulate to ensure that we're using AI the way that it's meant to be. And as far as data centers are concerned, I believe in the state of Illinois, we need a moratorium on it because we are already experiencing energy issues as we're transitioning from coal to green energy without adequate supply to massive supply we're not getting from coal. And AI data centers.
Thank you.
First off, when it concerns AI, there are definitely some helpful uses for it. But the biggest concern to me is that we can't be